Today's show, presented by 5-Star Fans. The thrill, the heartbreak, the pride. Being a fan is a wild ride. With 5-Star Fans, you can finally get in on the action like never before. Go to 5-starfans.com right now. Sign up. You can give $5 to your favorite Buckeye. Pretty good deal, Tim.
Yeah.
5-starfans.com right now. You can give $5 to your favorite Buckeye. Help them with the NIL front. It is time. Bold predictions are here. I can't get my voice too high up there, but
I know.
we're powering through, Tim.
Yes.
We got to go at least 8 minutes here.
You want me to lead the way?
Absolutely. I want your bold prediction for the quarterfinal of the college football playoff at the Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential.
Okay. Remember, I promised last week. I promised last week I wouldn't recycle anymore, so I'm not recycling.
There you go.
I'm upping.
Wow.
Upping.
The ante.
Jeremiah Smith, minimum 3 touchdown catches.
Wow.
Jeremiah Smith, minimum 7 catches. You got to use what's best on your football team to win a game of this magnitude. He was about to have that kind of game or that kind of finish the first time these two teams played. The offensive pass interference penalty has haunted him.
Yeah.
You can tell because he says he thinks about it. Admitted to us he thinks about it every day.
Yep.
About, number one, he did get kind of, what's the word? It's a euphemism for getting skewered.
Bamboozled.
He did get bamboozled on that call. Flip side of this, he did some things that brought that call on.
Yeah.
From a arm gesture standpoint. Bottom line is Jeremiah Smith has a point to prove in this game. And the more you look at this game, the more you think this could be a wide open passing affair.
Yep.
Reminds me of Ron Vanderkellen against, I think it was USC way back in 61 or 62, one of the first Rose Bowls I remember watching on a black and white television. And Ron Vanderkellen from Wisconsin, that was a shootout. And I think this game has all the earmarks because we both know these are the two best teams left, total teams left in the national championship hunt. Yeah. And I think they're going to both leave it not just all out, but all in the air because they've got two very capable quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm going to stick quarterback central with one of mine, but it's on the other side of the ball. I think Caleb Downs, Jordan Hancock, Denzel Burke, this secondary is ready for this challenge. Dylan Gabriel's really good with the ball. When you make him drive the length of the field, he has turned the ball over at times in the red zone.
Yes.
I think Ohio State's going to pick off Dylan Gabriel twice.
You left out Lathan Ransom.
No, yeah, I didn't name everybody.
I know. You were all inclusive.
I think Ohio State is going to have 2 interceptions in this game. Think about the first play of the Rose Bowl last year.
Yep.
Caleb Downs didn't get his foot in bounds, but he had a pick on J.J. McCarthy on the first play of the game.
Yep.
And, he's coming back to play in the Rose Bowl for Ohio State this time, against Oregon. They've got revenge on the mind against Oregon. Denzel Burke is ready for this challenge. I think this secondary is going to play extremely well, and I think they're going to pick Dylan Gabriel off twice.
Didn't Caleb Downs have revenge on his mind when they played Michigan?
And he played well.
Yeah. Okay.
But the offense didn't.
It takes more than just one, though. I guess the point I'm making.
Speaking of that offense, Tim, offensive player of the game.
Offensive player of the game, if this offense plays the way I think it should, more think it should than would, it will be Will Howard, the quarterback at Ohio State. He will be the offensive player of the game for Ohio State. Let's put it that way. Just have a sense about it that they're going – you got a second lease on life. That's what I was talking about with Ryan Day in the final press conference. You got a second lease on life in all kinds of ways with that win over Tennessee. But mainly it was a moment of enlightenment for Ohio State, not Ohio State players and coaches. When in doubt, air it out. And Will Howard, I think, is poised to make up for the final 6 seconds of that ridiculous final 30 seconds of that first match when Oregon won 32-31 when he slid and they didn't get the timeout, and the rest is history. So Will Howard, final answer, offensive player of the game for Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm going to go with I guess it's a double dip here. I think the running backs out of the backfield, I think they have to be great. On the ground when they get their opportunities. Yeah, they have to be good. And I'm not trying to cop out here.
Sounds like a cop out to me. You can't spell cop without co.
They have to be great, though, Tim.
Yeah.
Travion Henderson was really good on one specific run against Oregon. Quinshon Judkins had the fumble. I know he's got a little bit of revenge on the brain. Like, they have to be really, really good in this game. Yeah. And,
as I reminded them yesterday, as I talked to Carlos Loughlin about those two guys at our mass press conference, he's the running backs coach, in case you're not paying attention. By the way, when you sign a guy named Turbo, you just know what's coming, right? And from your hometown, that's what Carlos did, Montgomery. But I digress, as I usually do. As I reminded him, each running back scored 2 touchdowns against Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then you got Jeremiah Smith with 2 touchdowns. I like your pick.
Defensive player of the game.
See, I was going to pick Caleb Downs.
Go ahead.
We've already given him aggrandizement. I think he could be somebody very interesting. Personally, I got to admit something. Personally, I like Denzel Burke a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked the way he talks to us. I like, for the most part, I like the way he's played. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a kind of a cool guy. He's been a cool guy to cover.
Mm-hmm.
As little access as we get to these guys, he's a guy that you ask him a question, he gives you an interesting answer every time. Correct? But I'm going to go with Jordan Hancock.
Okay.
I just think he's not forgotten, obviously, but I just think he's that linchpin kind of third safety dude that can make a big difference in a game like this. So Jordan Hancock, final answer.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tyleik Williams. Middle of that defense, you got to be great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's much else to say because, he could have no stats and still be a player of the game.
Yes.
From that defensive tackle spot. He's got to be really good. So,
yeah.
I
talked to him yesterday too and was reminding him of, without guys like him, this would be 7-on-7.
Yeah.
And what makes football is guys like him going against, for example, maybe on occasion, he and Ty Hamilton both, but they've got a great center at Oregon. Yeah. I mean, he's so hard to move out of the way, so hard to get by, he's so wide. And that was a battle royale the first time these guys played back in October.
Yeah.
Just watched what was going on offensive and defensive lines there. So that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I picked him like 3 times this year to be defensive player of the game. It didn't work out for me.
Yeah, I'll save my voice there and go with Tyleik and not say much else.
Yeah.
Tim, what's your final score pick? It's the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential.
Dude, it's won, W-O-N, or done, D-O-N-E, for this game. And I'm going with Ohio State somewhere in the neighborhood of 34-24. Ohio State 34, Oregon 24.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ohio State 34-30. I think it's a classic. It's going to be awesome.
Who scores last in your scenario there?
I think Oregon's going to score last and make it interesting. Dan's going to get one of those onside kick attempts, which is going to be really hairy. We'll see what happens there.
I wonder where you're going to get this one because he clearly got the first one out of the script of Waterboy, the movie.
Yeah.
That one on October the 12th. It's really interesting because the one dynamic that Ohio State never got to enjoy in the first meeting when they had the lead a couple times, was getting a 2-score lead.
They had 2 possessions to go,
correct,
with a chance to go 2 scores. And
correct.
Turn the ball over on both of them.
And that's even though they lost 2 possessions during that game. So if they figure out a way to get a 2-score lead, it's a different ball game.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, partner. Those 2 possessions, the Will Howard third down where the ball went out of his hands and they had a punt.
Yeah.
When I thought that they were going to drive down the field and score after that 4th down stop on the goal line.
Yes.
And the other one was early in the game.
That was huge.
Yeah. The other one was early in the game, up 7-0. Ohio State had the ball at the Oregon or at their own 20-yard line. Quinshon Judkins fumbles. Oregon scores on a short field. So yeah, those things matter, Tim.
Oregon scored after that onside kick, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
to make it a 1-point game at the half.
Yes.
And it ended up that way.
All those things matter, Tim. Both teams scored 10 points in the second half. We'll see what happens in this one. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait. Tim May, the 41-year vet. I'm just Spencer Holbrook. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the third to last bold predictions of the season.
I think there's a great possibility of that. I mean, what can we say?
We'll see you guys back in Columbus. We'll see you in Dallas. Either way, Letterman Row will be there every step of the way. That's Tim May. I'm just Spencer Holbrook. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys over at LettermanRow.com.